Thank you so much for being here and having us. My name is Juliet, and I'm going to speak on behalf of Kalikasan Solidarity Organization, or KSO. We are a grassroots organization that fights in solidarity with environmental defenders in the Philippines in their struggle to protect their lands and cultures and win freedom from foreign intervention and domestic exploitation. We are here with you all as part of the global movement for environmental justice, demanding actual solutions to the climate crisis. We are here to talk about the dire human rights situation in the Philippines and to demand the end of U.S. support for the Marcos dynasty. The Philippines is one of the deadliest countries in the world for land defenders. This is a direct result of U.S. military aid, which allows the Philippine government to oppress its own people in order to serve multinational business interests like Chevron, Boeing, and Tesla. The U.S.-funded militarization of the countryside is only getting worse under the current President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Last month, there were indiscriminate bombings from the air conducted in civilian communities on the island of Negros by the U.S.-funded armed forces of the Philippines. On October 9th, the military declared a week-long lockdown. They evacuated over 18,000 residents into cramped centers, declared that anyone who stayed behind could be shot at, and set up military checkpoints in their villages. Residents went hungry and families were without milk and diapers for their kids. Military troopers slaughtered the people's livestock while they were gone and ransacked their homes. They illegally arrested and tortured at least 7 farmers. The people believe that the real motivation behind these unrelenting military operations in the upland villages of Himamaylan on Negros Island is to pave the way for, guess what? The entry of corporate interests bent on exploiting the resource-rich area. This is the reality of the Philippines today. The people are living under state fascism, and still the U.S. knowingly funds this state terrorism. They shamelessly send the taxes squeezed from their own workers, from us, who are struggling to pay rent, medical bills, access education, have housing, to the Philippine government to terrorize and deprive the Filipino people of the right to their own lands. They pay for the repression of land defenders. They pay for the big mines that destroy the land and pollute the waters, because they grossly prioritize their own profits and military agenda over the lives and rights of the Filipino people and over our lives and rights. Since Marcos took power this summer, attacks on the most neglected and exploited people in Philippine society continue. Typhoons have killed hundreds and displaced thousands of Filipinos, while Marcos was warmly welcomed onto U.S. soil by President Biden in September. To be wined and dined at upscale restaurants in New York City and sell out the Philippine economy to the highest bidder. Kamala Harris is visiting the Philippines this month and saying nothing about the egregious human rights abuses committed by the Marcos family. We demand that Biden halt U.S. aid to the Philippine military and police by passing the Philippine Human Rights Act and to halt all future arms sales to the Philippines. We demand the end of all U.S. corporations stealing and plundering Filipino lands, attacking and displacing indigenous people. We demand justice for all the victims of state violence, and that the U.S. government hold the Duterte and Marcos regimes accountable for their egregious crimes committed against the Filipino people.
Do it!
We call on all of you to join us in recognizing that together we have the will and responsibility to organize for an end to this injustice. And I'm going to ask for a moment of collective action, so if everybody has one of the flyers. I'm going to make a call to have us collectively raise some funds right now. We know that the money that the U.S. is sending to the Philippine state is only going to keep contributing to the suffering of our comrades and friends in the Philippines. And land and human rights defenders need material aid right now that they are not getting from the Philippine government. So let's take a moment of collective action in the spirit and principle of international solidarity and raise some funds among ourselves. We have the goal to raise $1,000 today for iChart's Human Rights Defenders Fund. So if you have this flyer, or if you have cash, whoever's collecting cash, can you like raise it up? Oh yeah, right here, Andy. And then if you...
Yeah. Raise your hand if you have a stack of flyers that people can grab one from you to get the QR code. Raise your hands high.
Yeah. So this QR code on the left, you can scan that and send whatever you can, $1, $2, $3, no limit, $1,000, whatever you can afford and are moved to spend right now. But when we do it together, we don't all have to send so much, because if all of us right now just send $5, that's gonna contribute a lot. So let's get that done. Thank you so much. And a little more to say. So, finally, we hope that we and the other speakers make it clear that genuine solidarity between the people of our countries means organizing to end U.S. support of the Marcos dynasty. We hope that it's making it clear that the U.S. shows us all the time that it is not interested in addressing climate change, and that we are not living in a democracy when our cries to stop the killings and bombings and plunder go ignored. But the ongoing resistance of the Filipino people shows us that no amount of state terrorism can stop the people's will to fight. Our people power will be the decisive force in creating genuine and lasting change. We choose international solidarity. We are in this struggle together, and it will take all of us to win. We are calling on you to join us, and long live international solidarity.